of the day, dear students. I am Shahnoza Bobokulova, ESP teacher of Bukhara State University. Today in this lesson, you will get some information on learning strategies. So today's lesson is dedicated to language learning strategies. If you are ready, let's start. Our today's lesson aims to provide you some knowledge of language learning strategies. It also aims to reactivate your knowledge of learning styles. It also teaches you some learning strategies, and also it guides you how to apply those learning strategies in your own language learning process. First of all, the first thing that you should do is to find out what is a learning strategy. Learning strategy is, in the simple words, learning strategy is a way of acquiring, a specific ways of acquiring some knowledge. Well, according to Oxford Dictionary, they are specific actions, behaviors, steps, or techniques that students utilize to develop their progress while developing their second language. These strategies can facilitate the internalization, storage, retrieval, or the use of the new language. Well, why do we need them? We need them for enhancing our learning in order to perform specified tasks, and also we need them for solving specific problems, and also we need them for compensating for a deficit in our language learning process, and most importantly, we need them for making our language learning process more easier, faster, and more enjoyable. Next page. Numerous students had difficulties while differentiating learning styles from learning strategies. In reality, they are totally dissimilar. Learning styles. First of all, what is learning style? Learning styles occur naturally. Students use learning styles resting on their habits, their personality. According to Reid, learning styles are learners' natural, habitual, and preferred ways of absorbing, processing, and retaining new information and skills. While learning strategies, they are used after learning, after acquiring them. They are learned consciously. They are acquired in order to accomplish a particular task more effectively and productively. Learning strategies are divided into two. The first type is metacognitive strategies. They are general learning strategies. Students start to think consciously about their own learning while performing them. And the next type is task-based strategies. They focus on how students can use their own existing resources to learn most effectively. Metacognitive strategies consists of organization or planning of your own learning, managing your own learning, then monitoring your own learning, then in the end evaluating your own learning. Task-based strategies, they are strategies that you utilize what you know, strategies that you use your imagination, strategies that you use your organizational skills, and strategies that you utilize a variety of resources. Let's start from metacognitive strategies. The first type of it is organization and planning strategy. In this stage, you will plan the task, content, and sequence. You can also set a particular goals. You can also plan how to accomplish the task. The second stage of it, previous one, please. The second stage is managing your own learning. In this stage, you should determine how you learn best. You can also arrange conditions that assist you to learn. You can also seek opportunities for your own practice, and you can also focus your attention on that task. Well, the next stage is monitoring. In this stage, you will check your own progress. You can also check your comprehension. You can also check your production as you use the language. And the next one is, the final one is evaluation. In this stage, you will evaluate how well you have accomplished the learning task. You can also assess how well you applied the strategies, and in the end, you will decide how effective the strategies were in helping you accomplishing the task. Well, now task-based strategies. The first step is use what you know. Use background knowledge. It aims to activate the schemata of students. In this stage, in this type, you will seek about and use what you already know to help you to accomplish that task, and you can also make associations while performing that task. The next one is making inferences. In this type, you will of course use the context if it's text, and you can also figure out the meaning while accomplishing the task. The next one is making predictions. In this type, you can anticipate information to come, and you can also make some logical guess about what will happen next. Well, personalize. In this type, you will relate a new concept to your own life, to your own experience, knowledge, beliefs, and feelings. Well, next slide, please. Well, it is a sample of anticipation chart. This anticipation chart is used before and after accomplishing a particular task. For example, let it be our task, let it be reading, and in this task, students are expected to read passage about elephants. So before this chart will be provided before and after reading the text. Before, students will read the questions, and they will tick if they are familiar. If they are familiar with the information, they will tick yes column. If they are not familiar with the information, they will tick in no column. And the same chart is also used after reading the text. Well, they will read the text, and they also determine how well they acquired it. If they learn about, if they get some information about the given questions, they will put tick in yes column. If they have no idea about the given questions, they again put tick in no column. It was a clear example for the first stage of task-based learning strategies. Well, the next one is use what you know. In this strategy, they will transfer, or they can also use cognates. So to do so, they will apply their linguistic knowledge of other languages, including their native language, to the target language. For example, they can compare their own language with their second language that they are learning. Well, the next one is substitute or paraphrasing. In this stage, they can think of similar word or descriptive phrases for words that they don't know in the target language. It can also help them to accomplish their main goal. Well, next one is using imagery. In this stage, they will use or create an image to understand or represent that given information. The next one is using real objects or role plays. To do so, they will act out or imagine themselves in different roles in the target language. Also, so, they can manipulate authentic objects as while using the target language. Well, the final one is finding or applying some patterns. To do so, they can apply a rule, they can make a rule, or sound out and apply letter or sound rules. The next one is group classification. In this stage, they can relate or categorize words or ideas according to attributes. And the last one is using graphic organizers to take notes. They can use or create real visual representations such as Venn diagrams, timelines, or charts while accomplishing that task. Well, the next one is summarizing. In order to summarize, they can create a mental or oral or written summary of the given information. Then, relying on that information, they can conclude. The next one is using selective attention. To do so, they pay attention to the given information, the structures or keywords or phrases or ideas. It can help them to consolidate their knowledge. Well, next one is assessing information sources. To do so, they can use the students can use dictionaries, internet, and other reference materials. They can also follow a model, or even they can ask questions. Well, the next one is cooperation. Working with others, it includes working with others to accomplish the task. They can, while doing so, they can build confidence, they can get and receive feedbacks from their peers. Well, the next one is talking yourself through it. It's also called as self-talk. Well, in this type, students can use their inner resources. While doing so, they can reduce their anxiety by reminding themselves about their progress, resources that they have, and their own goals. Well, what procedures should each learning strategy consist of? Each learning strategy consists of preparation stage, then presentation of it, then practicing, then self-evaluation, and in the end, expansion of that learned or acquired strategies. Well, according to Basel, according to Basel, Basel developed a learning pyramid. According to him, students can get 5% of knowledge from lectures, and 10% of acquired knowledge goes to reading, and 20% of it comes from audiovisual, and 30% of effectiveness comes from demonstration, and 50% of productivity comes from discussion groups, and 75% of productivity of acquired knowledge comes from practicing by doing, and 90% of productivity comes or can be acquired when students teach what they learned from the teacher or from some sources. The following chart is called as Bloom's taxonomy. According to him, learning starts from remembering. Well, in this early stage, students try to recall facts and basic information. They can define, they can duplicate the list, they can memorize, they can repeat or state. The next stage is understanding stage, comprehension stage, in other words. In this stage, students explain ideas or concepts. Here they can classify, describe, discuss, explain, report, or even translate. The next stage is application. Well, in this stage, students should try to apply that knowledge. To do so, they can use the given information in new situations. They can interpret, they can solve, they can use, they can demonstrate, they can interpret, or etc. Well, next stage is analyzation. In this stage, they will draw connections among their ideas. Well, here they can differentiate. They can start to differentiate. They can organize, relate, compare, contrast, or etc. The next stage is evaluation stage. Well, in this stage, they will justify their opinions or decisions. Here they can argue, they can judge, they can select, they can support, or etc. The next final stage is creation. Here students will produce new or their own original work. Here they can design, assemble, construct, formulate, or etc. Well, that was the end of our presentation. Thank you for your attention.